Let's talk about all the books that I read in January, plus some on my Kindle. I actually started out the year with a 1 star, a terrible book. I read God of Malice by Raina Kent and realized that she is not the author for me. If you like her, you do you, okay? But this was just too much non-con for me, and I hated both the love interest and the girl. It was a rough time. But then I redeemed myself, because if you notice this little like blank spot on my bookshelf, it's because I read one of my favorite series of all time this month, and that is the Fourth Wing series, of course, right? Because book 3 came out this month. So in preparation for it, I reread Fourth Wing, which I've already read before, and this was obviously a 5 star for me. This is a reread 5 star, so I knew it was coming, but it's just so good. And catching the little Easter eggs that Rebecca Yarros gives us throughout this series in a reread was like chef's kiss. If you haven't heard of this book yet, it's dragons, it's romance, it's fantasy. Pick it up. I then read Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iru. This was an audiobook that I listened to. I thought it was a really cool magic system based on like celestial powers and things like that, and the guy was such a simp for her. You know me, I love a simp. I gave this one 4 stars. Such a good time. Then after that I read The Emperor, which is by Runix. This is book 3 in the Darkverse series, and I really enjoyed books 1 and 2 when I read them like a year and a half ago, but unfortunately this was just disappointing to me. I gave it 3 stars begrudgingly. It was just so hard to get through, unfortunately. Continuing the Empyrean series, then I reread Iron Flame. Now this one people have critiques about. They think this is not as good as Fourth Wing, which I agree. However, I don't dislike this book at all. This is still a 4 star read for me. Such a good time. I think that Fourth Wing is better, but people hate this book because of the miscommunication and problems in the romance, and I understand your problems with it. However, I don't care. Xaden is my everything. Violet is my everything. I love this book. 4 stars. So good. And then when I finished it, I took a break from reading for a week because I could do nothing but think about Onyx Storm, which is book 3, and I had to wait until it came in the mail, which it did, thank goodness, and I devoured this book. The first half took me a little longer than the second half. I finished the last 50% in like 2 days, I'm not even kidding. This is all over the internet right now. Y'all all know that this is a great, very popular book, but it just continues the series so well. So much plot. The romance was so good in this. Oh my god, Xaden Riorson, the things I would do for this man. This was a 4.5 star read for me. It was amazing, and if you haven't seen my reading vlog, go check it out. It was really good. And then because after I finished the Empyrean series, I knew that I would not be able to jump into something without giving myself a reading slump, unless it was a book that I had already read before. I picked up The Titan's Curse by Percy Jackson, and I have no regrets, okay? This is one of my favorite series from my childhood. I have the entire thing on paperback as well as the second series. It's like down there. Guys, I don't care what you say about this book. These characters, I love them. They're my babies. I have always loved them. I will always love them. And it's great for preventing your reading slump by reading a book from your childhood that's literally like 300 pages. It goes by so fast and it's so much fun. So I ended the month with a 4 star rating, and those were all the books that I read this month.